Hello YouTube, this is just a short video on how I can my dill pickles. This canning session I canned slices and spears. All of my Kirby cucumbers were locally grown and organic from local farmers that I bought at a local farmer's market. For this canning session, I'm using Tattler lids. Most canning sessions, almost all of my canning, I use Tattler lids. Mainly for the fact that they're green and reusable indefinitely. Obviously the rubber rings have to be replaced after, I believe they say 10 canning sessions. But at that point you can tell when the rubber is worn and needs to be replaced. And Tattler actually sells those cheap in bulk, so it's not a big deal. It's well worth the investment up front. Anyway, this at the beginning of the video, I've got everything prepared, chopped, ready to go in my jars. All my jars are hot and sterilized for 20 minutes in the boiling water canners. My fresh dill was also from the local farmer's market. One thing I do want to add is the ball pickle crisp is a bit controversial, but honestly, every single time I've used it to can pickles, my pickles always turn out crispy and they're crunchy still a couple years later. So I think it's well worth the investment to add that in there. So at this point, I'm just stuffing the jars, leaving 1/2 inch head space. And this is just a really quick video because this video was probably an hour long total with as many jars as I canned. And of course you always want to debubble your jars and adjust, add more brine if you need to bring it up to the proper head space. Since I was canning so many jars, I did use my All-American canner as well as my water bath canner to water bath can these pickles. You do need to check the recipe, which I will link in the description box below, for your appropriate canning time and as well as your altitude. The 1.5 size jars, when I can with those, being in the city, my altitude here, I can process these for 15 minutes. And when these Tattlers come out of the canner, I tighten them down and set them on my breakfast bar to rest for 24 hours. I do like the flavor that the mustard seed adds to the pickles. You could leave it out, but it's just something we prefer. I only use paper towels these days for canning. I'm trying to get away from paper towels completely. It's just, I have a cat and a dog, and pet hair, it gets everywhere. And, you know, dish towels, dish rags. I don't want to take a chance on getting pet hair in my jars or compromising my end product, so I just use paper towels. It's the best way for me, having pets, to keep my canning session sanitary. And with these jars, my hands are wet. It does look like I'm cranking them down, but I am not. You only want to put these fingertip tight and then back off a quarter turn, because they do need to be able to vent in the canner, or your lid and band will pop off. Or you could just set them down on a towel to tighten them, and only tighten the band enough to where your jar is starting to turn in place. And that's the end result. And I just included a few pictures of our local farmers markets here. We do have access to fresh fruit and vegetables, locally grown, organic, and it's just a great way to support local farms. These markets do fill up really fast, so it's best to go early in the morning, especially during the summer months. This market right here is usually open year-round, but they sell, like winter produce. I pre-ordered and picked up on this day 150 pounds of tomatoes to can salsa, pasta sauce, pizza sauce, all kinds of stuff. These green markets really do have amazing vendors. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and please like, share, and subscribe.